Hey everyone and welcome. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Are you the sort of person who's continually smashing targets? You're essentially seen as somebody who is just on point and you're that go-to person. But when it comes to the next career opportunity, you're just not quite getting those new roles. You feel like you've done everything right, but you're still pretty much stuck. Again, you're not alone. And hey, if you like content like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps this channel get shown to other individuals as well. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Michael Tabirade. I help ambitious professionals within the UK understand the change around them in order for them to position themselves for success and create the career that they're looking to create. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably fancy yourself as a high-performing individual. You're probably dependable, reliable, you get the work done. And yet when it comes to getting into that new senior position or leadership position or whatever it may be, it's not quite working. Sometimes you think to yourself, why? I've done everything right. And so in today's video, I want to talk about why that is exactly happening and the path you need to take in order to prevent that from happening in the future. Now, of course, this video is going to talk about what you can do in order to overcome some of these challenges, but I have an assessment that you can take which is known as the Mastery Performance Indicators, which helps you understand whether you are truly employing power habits so that you position yourself for success. So you're interested in understanding what your high performance looks like, then make sure to check the assessment below. It is a great companion when it comes to this specific topic we are talking about. So what is holding a lot of high performers back in 2025 and beyond? Now, of course, you may be technically gifted, you may have the information, but that is not enough in order for you to move forward. We believe typically or logically that it should be, but if anything, it holds you back even more. They are great things to have, but on their own, they're not enough. Think about this logically. We are living in an era where the World Economic Forum states that skills like leadership and social influence are way more important than some of the technical skills that you think are important. And so organizations are crying out for individuals who can't only just do the work, but can inspire others to do it and lead people to do it as well. Lead people through change. Many high performers are stuck because what they end up doing is they double down on what they know best. And that is their technical prowess, their technical skills. And they believe that the results should speak for themselves. And while results are crucial for success, if you can't connect with people authentically, if you can't clearly articulate a vision beyond the current norms, or persuasively bring people along with you, your upward trajectory will inevitably slow down. Now, the traditional career advice may talk about improving your CV or improving your networking and all that stuff, which I've definitely spoken about. But if you don't have those initial emotional intelligence or social intelligence skills, there's a huge gap in your opportunities. Now, I'm going to read a stat here. It says that 78% of high performers are seeking new jobs due to lack of internal growth and unclear career paths. This was cited by Better Works in 2025. And it's true because people feel like they're not finding the opportunities. There are lots of people who feel unfulfilled at their place of work. Is this the work's fault or is this their fault? Who knows? And of course, being stuck within a space has consequences. There is always going to be this lingering frustration or disillusionment. It's almost like, oh gosh, why can't I get to where I want to get to? And so you start to kid yourself. You think you're not good enough, but it's a lie. You're definitely good. That's why they're keeping you there. That's why they don't want you to move forward. Because if you can show you have technical domain knowledge or technical prowess or implementation, you're proving that you should stay where you are. That's not how you do it. Of course, there's a risk of burnout. I said before, if you're doubling down on your technical domain knowledge or skills, you're going to feel more stressed because you believe that doubling down and getting even more results is going to get you that promotion, when it's proving that actually you are the best cog for this whole wheel. And of course, as that starts to happen, your confidence starts to erode. You start to get self-doubt. You start to feel like you're not good enough. You don't have that self-worth. All of these gremlins start to eat in your mind. And of course, you look around you and you think to yourself, oh, Kwame's doing well, or Raj is doing better, or Sarah is improving. And I can see them climbing up ranks. Like, what are they doing that I'm not doing correct? If you think about this practically, let's say, for example, you are in this position and you stick with doubling down on your technical skills or what you know best. It may take you years to even have the opportunity to get to that next level. That's costing you an additional 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever it may be, because you don't know how to move to that next step. Now, of course, it's not all doom and gloom. Where there is a down, there is an up. And what I mean by this is, if you have gaps in your knowledge and in your skills, there is an opportunity to start mastering other habits, other skills that positions you in a space of opportunity, of capitalization, where you can get those promotions and get to the next step. Now, I want you to take your mind into a different space. You know you're capable. You know you're tailored for more, but you have to think differently. You have to give yourself the opportunity. Now, there are at least 3 core power skills that are needed in order for you to transition into this space of more opportunities. Now, I say there's at least 3. If you want to know the full 5, then you can take my assessment below. But the first one is having a sense of audacious authenticity. Now, what does this mean? This is having the courage to be yourself. I remember going to Capco and I did a talk to the Black, African and Caribbean Network. And we were talking about this whole idea of being yourself at work and not being yourself at work. Of course, there is this Japanese proverb that says we have 3 faces: the face that everyone sees, the face that friends and family see, and the face that only you see. And you have to get to a point where you minimize the distance between those faces. There's something known as self-monitoring. This is your ability to know how to sensitively increase your raw self versus your more preserved self. And so when talking about audacious authenticity, it is your ability to not only lead yourself, but also lead others well. If you don't know how to, again, make your own decisions and not necessarily be influenced by external factors, be comfortable with your own skin and truly understand what is required in order for you to be your true self, then it's going to be difficult for you to lead others. And other people need to feel like there is a sense of transparency, there is a sense of integrity, there is a sense of vulnerability, there is a sense of rapport, there is a sense of good communication. This comes from having a certain level of self-awareness and self-management. And so when we're talking about leadership, we are talking about having the bravery to be oneself and challenging that into a space where you lead others. What is leadership? Here is a very pragmatic definition. Leadership is the process where an individual facilitates a group of people towards achieving a shared vision. Now, maybe I haven't used the right language or words or whatever it may be, but seeing it as a process, shared vision, a group of people. When you think of it like this, then you can break it down. So in order for you to get to the next step, people need to see you for who you are. And if there isn't a cultural fit, then there isn't a cultural fit, because true leaders, good leaders, are themselves. This is not fluff. This is genuine. And so some people may say, this is not good advice. Those who hear and those who understand, and those who are in good leadership positions will understand. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some situations where in order to get to where you need to get to, you have to follow a certain whatever. Fair enough. But you still have to drop some of that corporate mask. That's where you get true respect. And it's earned. Respect is earned because people can see you for who you are. The second thing I want to talk about is having a sense of crystal clarity. Now, when we're coming to corporations, this is being clear about the strategy and the planning, the policies, all of these different things. So crystal clarity means that you have to have the ability to cut through the noise, cut through the complexities, and bring simplicity when it comes to the approach, the unique approach that you take to deliver value, i.e. a strategy. If it means reading the documentation, if it means talking to all of the stakeholders, if it means developing a robust plan, if it means having brainstorming session or workshopping, then do those very things. But this requires you to be as simple as possible and to be clear about what the purpose and focus is. And so this is where we start thinking about the hierarchy of objectives. We have your vision, so where you want to be, the mission, what you say you do, your values, what you deem as important, your operating model, your objectives, so key things that you want to achieve, basically goals, your deliverables, i.e. specific key outputs that you're trying to achieve against milestones, your tasks so it just needs to be a clear rhythm. This is about a system of success, and it starts at the top by being clear about what that vision is, not just for your life, not just for you as a person, but also for the organization. If you can understand the strategic elements and move yourself away from technical, operational, programmatic, or project focus, then you speak a different speak. So recognize those individuals who are executives or directors and how they talk. What sort of information are they looking for? That's how you position yourself away. And the final thing I want to talk about is persuasive perception. And what I mean by this is having the ability to ethically influence individuals towards a certain decision that is going to have a positive impact or benefit for a group of individuals. This is essentially having the right level of emotional agility, emotional intelligence. Of course, we can break down emotional intelligence based on a popularized model by Daniel Goleman, but rather than doing that, I think this is more about getting feedback, using that information constructively in order to understand what your next steps are. It has to be agile, it has to be quick. Get feedback all the time. Hey, Steve, what did you think about my report? Hey, what were your thoughts of the presentation that I produced? X, Y, and Z. Get that feedback so you know how to iterate. What are you looking for? Get it from your line manager, get it from your direct reports, get it from your colleagues. So that information then can be used to understand what you need to do moving forward, because now you know what they like and don't like. Now you know the sensitivities when it comes to moving towards that goal. And so it's crucial for you to get that feedback so you can be effectively and ethically persuasive and influential. That influential nature also comes from likability, okay? So this comes down to how you communicate. This comes down to smiling. This comes down to how you dress. This comes down to, again, how you present information. So is it informative? Is it educational? Is it empowering? Is there a story behind it? Is it simple? Are you speaking in layman terms? Are you speaking in the terms of the organization? And so all of these different things create that persuasive element. Knowing how to listen as opposed to just always speaking. Crucial steps. So these are the softer things that are required, because you'll recognize that this is all about people dynamics. It's less about the technical stuff. The technical is great, but if you can manage the people side, you're gone. You're gone, I'm telling you. So what can you do to be a bit more involved as opposed to just being in a space of, yeah, I'm just going to stick to myself, do my own thing and yeah, we're not doing that if you want to progress. Now, developing this stuff is not something that you do quickly or do overnight. It takes time, but you have to start with awareness. And one way you can develop this awareness is through understanding the mastery performance indicators that I pose. So if this is something that you're interested in, then make sure you click on the link below to take the assessment to understand where you're at when it comes to this stuff. So the key takeaways here is that, number one, there has to be a certain element of audacious authenticity when it comes to you as a person, because that shines through in your leadership. Start to develop leadership skills. It's not just about getting a qualification, but it's about doing what leaders do. Learn from the top, see what they do, and understand what is valuable to them. Number two is also about making sure that you have a sense of crystal clarity. What is the strategy? What is the plan? What are the policies in place? Do you understand that stuff? Can you make complex and ambiguous things uncomplex and more clear? And number three, do you have a certain level of persuasive perception? How do people view you? How do you know what they think? Get that feedback and use that to start iterating and changing your approach to things so that you communicate clearly, you put yourself in a position where you're likable, and people can find and lean into you as a person, not just for your technical prowess, but for you as a person. Again, it may seem simple, but these things are not necessarily simple. So to gain that awareness, it's about assessing yourself against some of these power skills. So again, make sure to click on the link below to learn from your audit or your assessment to understand where you're at. And of course, understanding these power skills are crucial for your success. But in the same vein, these skills mean nothing if we're not in an environment where we feel we have autonomy, we have direct impact and a sense of flexibility. With that flexibility, we're in a world where we're wanting to do more remote work and things of that nature. And so in the next video, I'm going to be talking about the future of remote roles and the future of jobs in general. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. If you want to see more videos centered around careers, contracting, and independent consulting, then of course do those very things. Anyway, take care, God bless, and understand, reach, and expand. Peace.